officially hit the 150,000 nickels searched milestone in my quest to complete the 1938 through 1961 Jefferson Nickels set. This is your first time watching the channel, welcome. I'm documenting myself in my goal to go through 10,000 nickels each week to try and complete this collection. What I'm solely focusing on are all the Jefferson nickels from 1938 to 1959, Buffalo nickels, Liberty nickels, foreign coins, and Canadians. Now, onto this hunt. This was, without question, the absolute best hunt that I've ever had. I pulled 142 nickels belonging to the 1938 through 1959 Jefferson set, including a key date Jefferson that I needed, a 1938 S, which I will have close ups later on in the video. And this is absolutely amazing. In the same box, I found two key date Buffalo nickels, a 1914 Denver and a 1921 San Francisco. Now, to give you an idea of how rare this 1821 S Buffalo nickel is, now they only minted 1,557,000 of these nickels. By estimates online, 99.12% of all Buffalo nickels ever minted have been removed from circulation. So, with those figures, this leaves maybe 13,700 of these nickels left in circulation. So, in order to find one of these out of the billions of nickels that are currently in circulation, it's just mind blowing. It'll never happen again. So, thankfully, I found one. I won't have to buy it. I did find another nickel that I needed for the original book, which was a 1942 San Francisco. Slightly questionable, but it's definitely a San Francisco. You'll see later on the little dilemma I was having with it. But anyway, I averaged 28 nickels a box, slightly above the average of 25. It was fantastic. Anyway, here's some close ups. Finally reached a milestone 150,000 nickels searched. This was by far the most incredible hunt that I have had on this entire journey. 142 nickels pulled from the 1938 through 1959 Jefferson nickel set. Also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Buffalo nickels. 3 Silver War nickels, which we're going to come back to these shortly. And I got one for the blue book that I needed. The 1938 San Francisco. Found this at 147,804 nickels searched. There it is. And this thing is in great shape. Make no mistake. Very excited about that. Now, let's come back to these buffaloes here for a second. So I did have to apply a nick date to these. These were dateless. We've got a 1921, and you can barely see it. I'll have close-ups at the end of the video. A 1914. The 1921 is in fact a San Francisco, a semi-key date for the Buffalo series. Truly an amazing find through coin roll hunting. And the 1914 is a Denver, another semi-key date Buffalo nickel. Both of these that I need. So, this 1921, they only minted 1,557,000 of these. To even find one in circulation today, what? That'll never happen again in my lifetime. The rest of these, they're all dateless in some capacity and no mint marks. Did get a pair of 2009s, both from Denver. And I got my first counter stamp nickel. believe it's the Freemasons in some capacity. And for whatever reason, when I'm pulling pennies while searching these nickels, it seems to be like I usually get decent nickels. And that pop tab is not for scale. I found that in a nickel roll. What are the chances? So anyway, coming back to these silver nickels, and I'll have some close-ups as well. So I need a 1942S. All right. That is, in fact, a 1942. Over here, this is another one I found. This is a very worn 1943 San Francisco. You can see the date compared between the two. It's in pretty rough shape. But the S is very prominent. Make no mistake. Now, they did make 42 nickels that were not silver, but this, I'm 100% certain, it is silver. It's got the tone, it's got the sound. But this S, why is it so weak if that's even an S? So, I don't know. I don't know what to even consider it. But anyway, this I'm absolutely stoked about. I was starting to wonder if I would ever find one of these. But I did. Anyway, let's get all this tallied up. Come on back to it. Alright, got everything tallied up. No changes to the second book. That's going to be dedicated solely to this run. But finally, we've got some additions to the blue book. We've got that beautiful 1938S. Only 4.1 million minted. And after consulting the lords of the internet and doing some investigation myself, this is a 1942S. You'll see my little dilemma here at the end of the video, but it's certainly a 42S. Did get an upgrade as well. Got a 57D, very common deer. I found so many of these, but this one, it's got a little bit more detail in the hair. It's a little bit more crispy than the current one that's in here. Got several additions to the Buffalo book. Here's one of the semi-key dates here. This one, I actually damaged this a little bit. You can see it's shining. When you nicodate these, it does make the metal a little soft, but that is a 1914D. That's what that little scratch is on there. Shame on me. Also, had to nicodate this one. Got a 1918 Philadelphia. The true star of all of this, though, or at least for the Buffaloes, is this, a 1921S. I'll never find another one of these again. I'm certain of it. But that Buffalo book, man, is that coming along nicely. These are just all the different years that I have found so far. How about that Jefferson book? It's almost done. Just need that 39D. That is going to be a tough one. And this 1943D. I feel like I'm getting close to this. But what do I know? It's just gut feelings. And again, the whole reason I started this second book, there is a really good chance that I am going to find duplicates of all the holes that you see missing in here before I find another one of these guys, a 1950D. As I've mentioned in other videos, I found one of my very first box when I started this back in 2015. Zero appreciation for what I'd found. There it is. And it's in really good condition. Ton of history behind this coin. This is the most circulated coin ever. Something like that. Anyway, these were hoarded right from the beginning. Very few of them ever made it into circulation, but somehow I found one. Definitely came out of someone's set. The other Buffaloes, I'm not even going to bother nicodating these. They're too far gone, and they look better just as they are. This one I did nicodate. It is a 1919. I would have needed that. However, I've got a 1919 right here. My mom gave me this coin. She found this as a little girl, and she kept it all her life and gave it to me. Anyway, This is what it looks like where I keep all this data. I've started to color code it as well. The green, those are semi-key dates, and these blues, these are the key dates. But it gives me a real nice visual of how often I find these key dates, and I've color coded the months at the top. You can see the silvers in here. And then down here you can see the other semi-key dates as well. Nothing for the 1950D, because I'm only keeping track of this data this year. These are all the liberties. Down here, this is starting to get comical. I've got almost 94 hours of just searching. Now that does not include the time that I used to, that does not include the time to edit videos, or even when I go through and tally these coins. This is just the raw searching time. So it's considerably a lot more than that. Average finds per box, about 25. I have pulled almost an entire box of nickels at this point. I've pulled 1,931 nickels. There's 2,000 nickels in a box. Buffalo average decreased considerably. My phone really does not like this refresh rate. About one buffalo for every 4,400 nickels. Liberties, I'm averaging every 37,000 nickels. Anyway, wowzers. And here is the chart showing all the nickels that I have pulled so far out of 150,000 nickels searched. I've started color coding the important dates, the semi-key dates, and the key dates. Blue represents key date nickels, and the light green are semi-key date nickels. And gray represents the Silver War nickels. So if you look kind of towards the bottom right, where it's the very bright green, you'll see the total Jefferson's pulled is 1,931 nickels from 1938 to 1959. In a $100 box of nickels, there are 2,000 nickels. So I have pulled almost $100 worth belonging to this series. To put it in perspective, though, I have searched $7,500 worth of nickels, or 1,665 pounds, or 75 boxes. Here it is, the key date Jefferson nickel of the hunt in 1938 San Francisco. I found this at approximately 147,804 nickels searched. This is the first one that I have found in 150,000. And thankfully, this one is in really nice shape. No complaints. Here's the first of two E8 buffalo nickels that I found in this hunt. I found both of them in the first box. Unfortunately, there was no date, which is very common with these older buffaloes. The dates get worn off. I applied Nicodate and I saw the 1921. Didn't truly understand what I had found. I knew I had a good nickel on hand, but when I started looking into it, I realized this is like the second or third hardest nickel to find in the Buffalo series. So, pretty exciting. And as I had mentioned before, they only minted 1,557,000 of these nickels. And it is estimated that 99.12% of these, of all the Buffalo nickels, have been removed from circulation. So realistically out there, there's maybe about 13,000 of these still floating around in circulation. So to find one out of all the billions of nickels that are in circulation, it's safe to say this will never ever happen again. I'll never find another one. But pretty exciting. Glad I found it. And here's the other Heat 8 Buffalo nickel that I found, a 1914B. Now, this one is very difficult to find, but the mintage is slightly higher than the 1921S. They minted 3,912,000 of these, but still, it's a 100-year plus old nickel. And the chances of finding one of these dates is, again, next to impossible. But here we are. I found one. Now, these last couple of photos is going to show the nickel that was in question, which is a 1942 San Francisco, which is on the left. The coin on the right, I used to help determine the wear on the nickel that I found. The one on the right is a 1943 San Francisco, which you can see is in much worse condition than the one on the left. Now that we're reviewing the reverse on the backside, if you look at the top, you're going to see the large mint marks. You'll see the S on the coin on the right. And then the one on the left, you can kind of see that there was something there, but it's not really there. So initially, when I found this, I kind of thought maybe this is an error of some kind. Any kind of error coins would have been well documented at this point, and I couldn't find any information on it. So I started looking underneath the microscope. And here's the close up underneath the microscope. And you can see the bottom of that S for the San Francisco Mint Mark. It's barely there, but it is there. So, while not an ideal coin, it is one that I need to finish the first book. So, with that, it was an excellent hunt. Thanks for watching. I've got another 10,000 nickels coming in for this week, which is then going to bring the total to 160,000 nickels searched. And as always, if you have any questions, leave a comment below. Or if you'd like to see anything else in these videos, feel free to let me know otherwise. Thanks for watching.